Hi, this is Miss Guthrie, and I am on Lesson 5 Variables in Code.org Computer Science Discoveries, Unit 3 Interactive Games and Animations. So, in Bubble 2 of Lesson 5, you can see that it starts you off with asking you to do a prediction. And where will the circle be drawn? What will happen if you change the number in line 1? So, you have to type in a prediction before it will let you change the number. So you have to figure it out. So if we look here, we're going to be learning about variables. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that VAR means that this is a variable, that the x position is going to get the value of 50, which means that the x is 50. The y is 350. And then remember, these are the width and the height of an ellipse. So this is going to be a circle, and at 50, 350, which is right near this point that I'm at with my cursor, 50, 350. If we change the number in line 1, I would expect for it to change the x position and move the circle around. So we're going to see if that's correct. There's the circle. We were right. And I'm going to now make it. Now, only the x position is changing. So I don't think it'll go just anywhere. But I do think that it's going to move along this x-axis. And there we go. It jumped over to 350, 350, which is in that corner. All right, that's a prediction. And we're going to move along. In this bubble, level 3, there is an incredibly important video. If you have not already watched this video, you need to pause my video and go into code.org. Go and watch this video independently. It tells you so many different things. As you can see down here in the teachers, it tells you all kinds. It says that the variables hold information. It teaches you how to type in a variable, and it shows you good examples of what that variable does. Funny thumbnail image for this particular one. He looks like he just woke up. All right, we're going to move on. I'm going to pause. All right, now I'm in level 4, bubble 4. And which corner of the screen will the circle be drawn? Again, you're asked to make a prediction. And for this one, here's my drawing circle, my ellipse, x position, what's the y? So I'm coming up here, my x is 300, my y is 100. So if I go to 300, 100, it's going to be in this area. Since I didn't define a width and a height, it's going to be just a pretty small circle. And my prediction that I put is in the top right. You might have been more specific, but there it is, top right corner. Bubble 5 teaches us how to name variables correctly. There are rules for naming, just like there were rules when we were naming images in Unit 2. Labels for variables can't have spaces. They cannot start with a number, and capitalization and spelling are critically important. They've got to always match. So it is case sensitive. So we can see our ellipse down here is being drawn at these variable locations, and there's our width and height, but nothing's working. We've got all these errors. So the first one, labels can't have spaces. So let's just get rid of circle. And we're just going to call that one size. There are other ways you could correct it as well. You could name it size of circle, but get rid of the spaces. One dimension. I tell you what, let's call this maybe the X location. Make it easier to understand what we are naming it based on where it is down there. And then Y location. All right, all of my alerts and everything is gone, so it seems to look right. I will say this, there's something called camel case, which means that if you have something that is multiple words, like if I was going to call this shape size, I would want to make the first word, shape, not capitalized, and the second word with a capital letter. So you'll notice this a lot in JavaScript, and that's the way it should be. All right, so it looks good. I'm gonna move on. The important thing is that it matches. You did not have to name it the same thing I named it. In fact, I've done this particular one a few times, and I think I've named it something different every time. All right, level 6 is making a pretty picture with a flower. The program has only one variable called petal size, but it's used a bunch of different times to make all these different petals that we see on the red petals. So this does not really look like a flower. It looks kind of cool, but not like a flower. We want to change the number assigned to the petal size so that they actually touch one another. So we need to make them bigger. So we could do it at 70. Let's see if that works. Almost touching. Almost. We zoomed in. We could almost say that that would work. Although I think that since we want them to touch one another, we want it to be without a doubt touching. So I'm going to just increase that to 80. And they are definitely touching now. Now, if I liked the way the petals looked kind of before, but I still want them to touch, I can change that to 75. That's a little bit more defined. There's not really a right or wrong answer on this one. But you do know whenever it's not looking like a flower. Like that one just starts looking a little too fat to be a flower. The petals are. So probably somewhere around that 80 mark is about the best place, but it can be anywhere in that neighborhood. If you make the letter or the petals really big, and you can really see them get just awful. Let's go back and make that 80 again before I leave it. All right, I like the way that looks. All right, I'm going to click finish. And I'm going to stop this recording here. And part 2 of lesson 5 starts with bubble 7. So if you're only stuck on bubble 7 and higher, you don't have to watch both videos. I hope this has been helpful. And in level 7, we'll do these 4 activities. And then I'll go over a couple of them in the challenge as well.